Hey, what's up guys? I'm just going to run through some quick sage wall spots on the new map Ascent. There's some really nice angles that you can get on this map. First off being right here, if anybody's about to push in a market or even mid, sage wall right there, you get a nice peek from back in your spawn. And there are a lot of cheeky kills that you can get with all these spots. Honestly, Sage is one of those operators, now that they have nerfed her wall, she is still very, the Sage wall is still very useful for getting kills, or excuse me, for like stopping pushes onto sites and kind of slowing the enemy team down or blocking lines of sight. But she can also be very useful to get really cheeky kills and hold lines of sight that you wouldn't usually be able to hold. One of them is right here. Got a nice line of sight there and there. You can do the same thing inside this site. You can get up on top of here, which can be very useful. Especially once the wall's gone. It can be a very useful spot to sit in. Not a lot of people check up there, obviously. Then after that, hold on. Gotta pause the timer, there we go. You can get some nice little angles across mid. Fuck that up right there. Just like that. Obviously, you know, when it comes to using sage walls and stuff like that, you want to put it so it blocks both sides, so you are able to, so they don't know which side you're actually going to peek from. Makes them have to, you know, either guess, or if they guess wrong, flick. This one's really powerful as well if you hop on top of here. A lot of your body is exposed, but it's you know, kind of a very rare angle, and you can make the wall where it's not actually showing. So if you do this in the prep phase, they're not going to be peeking right there. And then of course, I don't know why you would necessarily want to, but you can hop up here and walk across. One of the most common ones that I see nowadays is up on top of here. Now you actually need a second player to get up here. If you just have a teammate crouch right here, you can jump up on top of their head. Obviously, I don't have anybody with me right now, so I'll just use a wall. But this is an extremely powerful wall, because you can peek catwalk from your spawn and nobody is ever going to be looking here. It's a really tight angle, and then you can even, if you're starting to get pushed over here, you can peek around this wall. Obviously you would put the wall straight across, that way you can peek behind it. Then probably one of the most powerful and most useful to know, if you're on attacker side and you have pushed through and you know that B main is clear, and you know that nobody's going to be peeking right here at the doorway. Let's say you have a teammate watching that. You can jump up on top of these two boxes, sage wall on top, and you can get beautiful lines of sight into the actual B site. And then you can even walk over here, peek market door, and if it's a little farther out, you can even peek back in the spawn. Break this really quick, just to show you what I'm talking about. Break this really quick. Make sure that the wall's far enough out. Whoa, what the fuck? There we go. You can peek out there. Obviously, I'm not amazing with sage walls, as you can tell, especially doing a video like this. I don't play Sage a whole lot, but when I do, I love using her walls for these tight angles that you can hold. Same thing can be done over here. See, you can actually, fun fact, if you're Raze, you can actually use her blast packs to get on top of this box right here. You can use one to jump up onto the bottom box, and then the second one to jump on the top. That is a great angle, but you can also wall up and hop on top of the box. Get some really nice angles here. You know, you can drop down or sit up top. Obviously, you can use a sage wall for just about any angle, and Valorant did it really well, where they made it so a lot of the, almost all of the walls, honestly, are in a spot where you either, almost your entire body is peeking like this, or they're just tall enough that you can't peek over it without jumping. Obviously, you know, there's that box over there on the other side of B main if you're attackers, but on defenders, there is no box here, so you don't have that ability. Oh, goddamn save. So, you know, you can jump and peek, but you're not actually going to be able to land a shot unless you're just crazy with no scopes or some crazy shit like that. Sadly, you can't get up on top of that. But, I mean, like I said, you can use her Sage Walls just about anywhere to get nice lines of sight. I remember in particularly in a game of Unrated, I used a Sage Wall right here. So I simply just picked it up and then off spawn used it to peek anybody there and there. I believe I got 2 or 3 kills. No, okay. So a great addition that you can do to get even better lines of sight is use an operator like Raze, Jet, Omen, somebody who can get in higher positions. Have them get onto a box like this, and then you Sage Wall their body right under them, and they can get an even higher line of sight. This one's really powerful because you can peek market, and it is a really tight angle. You put this wall so it's lined up with this wall right here. It's really hard to actually see the Sage Wall, and you can get some really dirty angles here. Obviously, that's more of a team play type of thing. You know, and you can use Sage Walls to, you know, block off lines of sight or peek over walls. But again, you know, a lot of these walls you'll have to jump to actually be able to see over, so you won't really be able to land shots. But yeah, I mean that's really all it is with the Sage Walls. There's not a whole lot to it. For those of you who don't know, with her Sage Walls, you know, there are some spots where you can Sage Wall and it'll actually break because there's something above you. And I have accidentally used that as kind of like a funny way to peek. For instance, if you stand right at the edge like this, and then once it breaks, I guess that wasn't a perfect example. You can get really tight lines of sight, which can help you, you know, get really easy kills. You know, if you line it up perfectly, I'm not great at it, but you can make really small peaks. One really nice one to use if you know that they're doing like a hard push onto A. You can get this wall at a really tight angle. Obviously, you can make it tighter than that, and then peek these really tight angles. But yeah, in any case, that's about it for that. And I'd appreciate if you guys leave a like, you know, comment, and subscribe. Be very appreciated. And take it easy, guys.